What's up, guys? It's your boy Devil Ken, and I just got done with a hardcore cardio session today. And I'm not gonna make this video super long, but I'm gonna just get straight into what we're gonna be talking about, man, because I know it's probably something that a lot of dudes struggle with, honestly. Honestly, okay, before I get into the video, I'm gonna just start off by saying this. If you are not receiving tension or hate or jealousy from other people, you are not, and I repeat, you are not going hard enough, and you are not doing something as right as you may think you are. What do I mean by this? People are only bothered when they feel like you're going harder than them, or they feel like you may be a competitor for something they want. Maybe a job, social hierarchy, maybe status, maybe a girl. And you may not even have any of that in your head, but this is how people interpret it. You know, just people, how they interpret it. You know, so this is how you know people always want to ask me, how do I know when I'm going hard enough? How do I know when I'm on the right path? You will know. You will feel the energy. You start to cross into a territory where you feel very unwelcomed, or you feel like something's gonna happen to you because you're going so hard and you're on the right path now. Other people, we live in a society where most people are not willing to. They will never go hard. They're not willing to. And people are just average. So when people see you going hard or you're on the right path, they get intimidated by it. Some people respect it. But here's the harsh truth. There'll be more people intimidated by it than respect it, because they don't know how to feel about it. You know what I mean? They feel like you're challenging them, and you're not. You're just really doing you. This is really hate. But that's how you know you're on the right path, because if you're getting hate, that's how you know you're doing something right. That saying is not anything new. That saying has been around for a while. You know you're doing something right, bro, if you know you're doing something right if people hate, you know? Because a lot of times people are just average. They don't want to put in the work, and if they do put in the work, they're not putting in the work like you do. So, you know, keep going, man. Keep going hard. And that's how you know you're going hard, is when other people start to feel a certain way. That's not your problem. Fuck them. Tell them to drop to their knees and suck a fucking dick. That's not your problem. They don't know nothing about you. They just automatically off bat decided not to like you because they felt your aura of he's going hard. He's on the right path. He's doing something I'm not willing to do. You know, and a lot of times this is a competitive thing, because they see you as a competitor of, this guy could get this girl, he could get this, that, and the. This is why, you know, I stopped going to gyms and shit, man, because too many fucking dudes' priorities is on a dick measuring contest rather than just focusing and locking in. Their fears of you doing this and you doing that, when you're not even focused on that, goes to show how insecure they are. And I'll give you an example. The best example of all this shit is when you start to get fit. You see, people, we live in a society nowadays where people don't want to see you cross a certain threshold. Once you start crossing that threshold, and you don't even have to cross it all the way, but even if it looks like you're about to, or even if you even look like you're trying too hard to cross it, people will feel irritated. If you cross it, people will feel irritated. If you get too close to crossing it, people will feel threatened, pissed off, irritated. Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. When I was 230 pounds, I didn't really get glances or looks. I would get glances or looks, but not really, you know? And Ever since I leaned out, like slimmed off, my look has changed significantly. Like, my look has changed significantly, guys. Like, ever since I've leaned out and slimmed off, my look has changed significantly for the better. I look more youthful and fashionable now, to the point that, bro, I was at the gym today, and I haven't went to the gym in about 2 months, but I was at the gym today, and let me tell you, man, let me tell you something, bro. Like, I was getting looks left and fucking right from, it didn't even matter, bro. Like, it really legit didn't even matter. I was getting looks from white girls, Hispanic girls, older African American girls. Like, once you don't understand, like, once you're in your best shape, you don't even have to be at your best shape yet. Once you're on your way, or you're on your journey to becoming in the best shape of your life, you're gonna start to see sneaks and previews of what you can get. A lot of times in environments like gyms and stuff, man, you know, the problem is a lot of dudes walk around with their priorities fucked up. They're there to try to attract females. I'm there to lock in, and if a bitch wanna fuck with me, she gotta come up to and talk to me. I'm not approaching no girls. I stay out of shit. Listen, if it's one thing in my life I learned to stay locked in, it's do not get involved with competitive, trying to get this girl from this. No, because that can be very dangerous. Okay, we live in a very, very, very jealous world, man. You don't never know how anybody actually feel about you. This is why, even in workplaces, bro, I prefer to work with all males, just so no females be around, because dudes can act very, very weird. There's not a lot of dudes out there that if it's a girl that they're interested in, but the girl doesn't want to talk to them, they want to talk to his friend or whatever. There's not a lot of dudes out there that can just take that L and be like, okay. They want to look at you, side eye you, get pissed off about it. Like, there's dude, bro, I can't tell you, bro. It's just crazy. When you get in your best shape, you'll start to see these things, bro. Like, literally, you'll start to see these things, dude. Like, you'll start to see side eyes. But when you're not in your best aura, people are okay with it. That's a fucked up psychology. People are okay when you're not at your best. But once you start locking in, people can feel that shit. It bothers them. It bothers them. It pisses them off. Not everybody. You're gonna have some dudes who respect it. It pisses them off. It just rubs them the wrong way for whatever reason. For whatever reason. A lot of it has to do with their fears. I read something in psychology where it said, you know, a lot of times the shit we fear doesn't even happen. And they're fearing, like, and I like I said, in the gym, in places like gym environments, or even work environments, depending on where you work, a lot of times, man, you could come off like you're gonna get attention from women, and they want the attention, and it's just like, that might happen. If it happens, it's not because you intentionally made it happen. You're just locked in, and it happened, and they know that, and it would piss them off. Likely that won't even happen, bro. But this is something they're creating in their head, and it rubs them the wrong way, because a lot of dudes just can't take L's nowadays and be like, okay, me, I know how to take a fucking L. If a girl doesn't look my way and want to talk to this guy, let her do it. I don't feel no type of jealousy, no type of hate, envy. Why not me? No, I don't. But a lot of dudes cannot take that reversed. They can't take it reversed, man. So the best thing you can do is stay out the way, stay locked in, and just know that you're doing something right, bro. You're doing something right, dude. Like, literally, man, you're doing something right if this happens to you. If you feel like you're starting to get side eyes, looked at weird by dudes, but you're starting to get more glances from females. Dudes are not stupid. Dudes only act like this towards dudes that they know can get attention or has potential to get attention. That's the only time they act like that towards them. They don't act like that towards guys that they find unattractive or ugly. They act like that towards dudes who they feel like can get attention or has the potential to get attention from females. They don't act like that towards dudes who are unattractive or who they feel is not a threat. They act like that towards dudes who they feel can actually fuck or has the potential to. That's why you're experiencing that. And that's why I say, you know, you're doing something right. But fuck them. They can all suck a fucking dick. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them nothing. They don't know anything about you. If they choose to dislike you just off how you look, fuck them. Tell them to suck dick, man. You don't owe them shit. Tell them to suck a fucking dick. Literally, open their mouth and suck a fucking dick, because that's not your problem, bro. That ain't your fucking problem. That's their problem, dude. Literally, that's their fucking problem. They don't know anything about you. You're locked in. They don't have a right to dislike you, and it's not your fucking job to try to make everybody happy either. Fuck them. Fuck them. They can all suck a fucking dick, man. Fuck them. Really, because it's not your problem. You know, it's crazy. We live in a world that people want to really make you feel horrible. They want to make you feel horrible. You know what I mean? They want to make you feel horrible about crossing a threshold. Maybe they can't cross that threshold, or maybe they fear what's going to happen if you do try to cross that threshold. I've seen it ever since I slimmed off a lot. I've seen it, bro. I've seen it from really males. You know, females give me glances and attention and shit like that. Like, I see, like, when females walk in, they'll glance at me and look up at me. You know, when I got off the treadmill or when I'm coming back from getting water, I see females a glance and look at me for like 0.2 seconds. Even if it's just a glance, I see that shit happening. I see that shit starting to happen, you know? And how do I take it? I know it's happening, and dudes are not stupid. Dudes see it happening too. You know, they see it happening too, and that's why they mad. That's why they're pissed, because they know, okay, this dude is starting to get close. You know what I mean? So that's how you know you're doing something right, man. You don't owe anybody anything. You know, just continue to do you, man. Fuck the haters and stay locked in, man. Tell them to suck a dick. You don't owe them shit. You know, dudes side-eye me constantly, all the fucking time. I mean, when I'm at the gym, it's ridiculous. I never got that shit when I was big. But then again, I didn't really get looked at like that when I was 200 plus, 212 pounds plus and shit, 220, 218. I didn't really get looked at like that. It would be rare occasions that I did, but I didn't really get looked at like that. But now it's a totally different fucking story. And now, and another thing too is this, that you have to learn. Like, the fitter you become, the more, like, the more likely that the more visible you'll, because I always say, on an attractive scale, the best shape, like for a man at least, you're invisible at a certain point, right? But the fitter you become, the slimmer, the leaner you become, from like point A to point B to point C, the further you go up on that scale, the more visible you become. So I'll give you an example. If you're, like, when I was 212 pounds plus, right, I was pretty invisible. You're visible, of course, and I'm saying this metaphorically, obviously. You're visible, but you're not like, oh, he's cute, I noticed him for a quick glance. That's not happening. But then as I move to point B, point C, point D, point E, point F, and as you start to go up on that scale, of fitness and getting slimmer and slimmer and leaner, you'll start to become more visible. Now that's good because now you're more visible to females and maybe even dudes too. You don't know, dudes are weird. Maybe even dudes that wouldn't have acknowledged your presence before or noticed you, now they have no choice but to see you. Now that's good because now you're getting glances and you're getting stares and attention from chicks that would have never looked your way before. That's the thing about being in shape. But the cons that come with that is that, like, the higher you go on that scale, the more attention you're gonna get, the more looks you're gonna get. And like, because of that, not everybody is gonna be a fan. Not everybody is gonna be a fan, including females. Not everybody's gonna be a fan, and it's okay. That's life. You're not gonna win everybody. Even the richest millionaires, the most handsome men in the world and all that, they don't even get every female they want. They get most of them, but they don't get every single female they want. So it's okay. That's a part of life. That's not anything that's like destructive to your grind, or your progress. That's accepting that fact that you're not going to get everybody is cool, But here's the con though that I realized: the slimmer I've gotten and the leaner I've gotten, like, the more attention I've gotten from people who may not have even looked at me before. But it's not always a good thing, because I came into this ignorant, and this is why what I learned is that I was thinking the more attention I get, everybody will like me. No, that's the thing. The more visible you become, you're now not invisible anymore. But that doesn't mean that just because you're not invisible, that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna like you or like what they see. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's sometimes I wish that person didn't notice me, because they gave me such of a mean mug, and I know some people got resting bitch faces or a side eye or a look of disgust. I don't ever think I got a look. I don't think I've ever gotten a look of disgust, honestly, ever. But side eyes and a look of being skeptical or judging, yeah. But a look of disgust, I don't think I've ever gotten that. But there's been times where I'm like, damn, bro, I wish I was just invisible, because it can get draining. But then again, it's like, that's what comes with it. If you become in better shape and you lose weight, the more, leaner you get, the slimmer you get, like, quite naturally, you're gonna get some love, you're gonna get some hate. But just know that that's what you wanted, so you're gonna get that. But just know you don't have a choice or say so as to who like you. It's kind of like being an artist and promoting your music. You sign up for a PR. This is an example. You put a PR campaign in or whatever, right? And it'll get you more views and clicks. But that doesn't mean everybody who click on your shit is gonna like it. You will have some people who like it for sure, but then you're gonna have some people who don't like it for whatever reason. That's the same way with the world is. People, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. The world is very judgy, bro. Very judgy, very jealous world, hateful world too. People are very judgy in this world, man. Very rarely will you meet a person who's not judgy. But a lot of people are judgy in this world. Like, I feel like a lot of people, they don't even want to get to know you. They'll base off how you look. And that's why I say your presentation is important, but you can't win everybody, even based off how you look. Sometimes people will still just not like you for whatever reason, because maybe you don't look like them. You don't look like none of the friends they have or anything or anybody. So it throws them off. And then it really throws them off because you're locked in too, so that intimidates them. So now they're really weirded out, and it to the point. Sometimes people just say fuck dude, and they don't want to do that, but they're uncomfortable. They don't know how to, they've never experienced it, and they never experienced somebody like you or got used to it. So instead of just being like, oh, this is different, their brain interprets to, I feel threatened by this, I don't know what to do, why is this happening, why does he look like that, how can he look like that, why is he doing this, who does he think he is, fuck you. Instead of just being like, oh, that's different. And it's biological. I don't think I've ever been that person, but just know, if you get haters, tell them suck a dick. You're doing something right, man. Stay motivated, man. That's the video for today. I'm out.